I'm introducing you now to lion's mane. Lion's mane is amazing for cognitive improvement. If you are feeling kind of fuzzy, grayed out, you need more focus, lion's mane is an excellent option. They're even utilizing the substance with pediatrics as young as 4 years old. So you have a kid who's starting to, you're worried about behavioral issues and such, look up lion's mane. It's a natural supplement and it's allowing improvement in your cognitive function.
Hey, this is Katie Walker with Rethink with Revitalist on how we are changing the narrative of mental health. I'm excited to let you know that we are now doing something called 22 Raw, to where we sit down with veterans. We have 22 real-time conversations, raw video, raw verbiage, talking about real-time issues that veterans need to hear. So I hope you enjoy listening to all of these amazing leaders being vulnerable in this space, helping to make the change that's needed. Thanks for watching.
Hey, this is Katie Walker with Rethink with Revitalist, and I'm here at MCon, and we're talking to some amazing veterans that are really changing the entire landscape, helping us to change the narrative of mental health. So I am here today with Clint Diong, and we're going to talk to him about some really cool things that he's doing. So thanks for being here, Clint.
Okay, it's a pleasure to be here. I really love everything that you guys are doing, so it was just matched me and him. I had to come over and talk.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. So you served in the Marines?
Yes, in the United States Marine Corps, Sergeant 0481, Combat Logistics, so true red patcher, or that's other nicknames for it, left and right. That was good times. Crazy times, but good times.
So what do you do?
Now I try to help veterans with alternative treatments for mental health. I tried to get into fixing my own mental instabilities and over a decade ago, because of major depression, anxiety, PTSD, violent outbursts for no reason, and I had to figure out some way to make it stop, because everything I was doing, like the alcoholism, then trying to go out and party, all those different things just weren't fulfilling, and they were just increasing the pain and suffering that I was going through internally. And I was anti-drug, believe it or not, until I was 33 years old. And I say anti-drug, but I was taking everything else: alcohol, caffeine, cigarettes, medication, that was basically making everything worse. And then my fiance, my wife now, is the one who interested, like, why don't you try psychedelics? I'm like, no, absolutely not. There is no way. They're evil. They'll destroy your mind. They'll turn you crazy. And she's like, should it get any worse than it is now? I mean, I'm like, you got a point. You kind of got a point. All right, let me do my research and see what I can find to actually see if I care to try it. So I dabbled in for the next 3 to 6 months on studying what I could find, didn't know what was there, didn't know what to trust. If I was also paranoid, am I going to get shut down, kick the door in because the FBI was watching me? It's so paranoid over this, just looking for information and see if it was something that would be able to help treat me and make me actually whole again, or better than whole. And finally I decided, yeah, I want to try DMT. And then it was the most explosive, influential moment in my life up to that time, and tried a couple other different directions of psychedelics. Went full tilt in. I'm 110% or nothing guy. So went deep into the studying of psychedelics as much as I can get my hands on, different therapies, different treatments across the world, tribal therapy, all those different kind of things. And I figured out I was actually technically doing it all the wrong ways. So if you want me to write a book on how to do it everything wrong, I could write you at least 1,000-page book. If you want to do it for healing, and it's great for the different ways, but there are certain ways that you want to concentrate on and realize is going to be the best way for healing. So that's why I started my first psychedelic company which is Morningstar Maiko. It's the first psychedelic opened mycology company in the United States that's fully registered with the United States government on FSD.gov and SAM.gov. We're also registered in NAVOBA, National Disabled Veteran Owned and Operated Business Association. We're also registered with the SBA for the VA for the SDVO-SB. Sorry, so many acronyms. Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small Business. We're also OSHA 30 certified. And 2 years in a row, we were awarded from the Department of Labor the Gold Hire Vets Medallion. We try to help veterans learn on the different portions of science and for mycology, as well as the different strains, the different chemical compounds that could help with different ailments that you're doing, how some will affect your internal biome, like your second brain in your gut. The different chemicals will actually attach to those, or is it going to be affecting you in different ways, more visual, more spiritual, or there's so many different directions on the different species that can go, plus set and setting. And the biggest thing is that I try to teach veterans now is psychedelics won't save you. Psychedelics will help you save yourself. So yes, you can find psychedelics really easy. Like my company is one of the best examples of that. You can find everything right there. But if you want to learn to heal from those different ailments, try learning with how to do the meditations properly, how to do breath work, how to do the nutrition, eating healthy, working out, then incorporate psychedelics into there if need be. It's kind of the same thing as different pharmaceuticals. Yes, it's an absolute tool that you have to, if you truly want to heal, learn. And then we started going and seeing an issue with the ecosystem of psychedelics. It was extremely fractured. It was all over the place. And the other social media networks absolutely shunned psychedelics. They still kind of do. A lot of people are getting their accounts banned or fully deleted, demonetized. A lot of these large companies like Third Wave or can't think off the top of my head, their accounts are getting deleted, and they're not selling psychedelics. They're just talking about the mental health properties of psychedelics or where to research and stuff like that. So we made a psychedelic ecosystem, the fruit of knowledge, so that you can have your social media, you can have your groups, your forums, your videos connected to YouTube. You can have the psychedelic map so you can show you exactly where things are globally. You can also have every single event that you want that has to do with psychedelics or mental health, anything like that, and register it on the ecosystem. And you can do that all for free. You can register your company for free, and you can register your events for free, so that everyone has an easier way to find you. www.thefruitofknowledge.com.
Okay. All right. So talking about the psychedelic space, talking about your depression, anxiety, drinking, all these things, it's so common, right? And not only in the veteran space, it's just common with people who are just struggling, and we all go through different struggles at different times in life. When you found psychedelics, you've done everything wrong to figure out how to do it all right. How was that experience? Say if I'm the veteran and I'm drinking too much, or my relationships I've destroyed, what would you say to them to make them feel more comfortable about seeking out these type of therapies?
Why be afraid of something that has the possibility of working? You've tried everything else, and then you've tried it multiple times, and it definitely is making it worse. If you're not sure, find the information. It's out there now, and the fruit of knowledge will make it easy for you to connect with people that are knowledgeable, companies that have a record and understanding of how to help people in different categories. The help is out there. You don't have to just stick with the same everyday, take your Prozac and mess with your brain over the next couple of months with that portion and have these different forms of negative side effects. Now, it's like I said earlier, psychedelics are not the be-all to end-all. They're a tool to help you go, but they That's why you should study first and then seek out guidance. Maybe go to a treatment center first. Maybe go to a ceremony so you'll actually have someone sitting over you and helping you go through a tough situation, because it's not going to be nice, especially if you've gone through a lot of pain and suffering. It will most likely bring up a lot of stuff. And a lot of people say that's a bad trip. It's not a bad trip. It's breaking down the amount of pain that you have stuffed away so that you don't have to be chained to the past. Basically, I call it where a lot of people now, they aren't actually living right now. They are living in the past because they are self-imposed slavery through their mind, because it's a thought to the past of the memory of pain and emotion that is trapped them there, so they can't even focus on the future. So they're basically a non-existent slave now to a thought, instead of actually being freed from that, focusing on the future and utilizing the past as information and knowledge.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, use the past from what you learned from. And then, there's data that came out recently that said that thoughts will turn into reality.
Exactly. So if you're chained to the past because it won't allow you to change your focus off of it, it doesn't matter if it was a form of PTSD from a relationship, violence, sexual, something from war, all those different kind of things, or an extreme emotion, a thought, and a physical action that is anchored itself into your mind. And if you keep trying to pull away from it, you're looking back continuously in your mind, and you're not actually breaking the chains that are binding you to that pain. You can always realize that you will never release that information from your brain or your cellular structure, but you can utilize it and change the way that it's energizing you. Transmute, to lack of better words right now, but it was pain and suffering in the past, so that you can learn from it and realize how to change your actions or how you interact, and focus on utilizing it for something better in the future, instead of focusing on it as it will never happen again because I will never let anyone close to me again, that kind of thing. It's which side of the coin do you want to be on? It's all done on perspective.
Yeah. Well, and I think the piece too, right, is like, when do people seek out psychedelics? And it can be, when people are having like some type of anxiety that's having some type of change in their life. If you're having anxiety and you're just like, no, I don't want to be out, like, I don't want to be around people. It's like, okay, even though you may, not think that it's, you're ready for medications or whatever else, it's like, look at psychedelics. Like, you can still microdose psychedelics, a lot of catastases. And these are some tools that you could start using that actually will help you start integrating, all these different anxiety pieces and things. Because I think, a lot of times in life, we don't know when to ask for help because no one's taught us when to ask for help. And the only time that they've taught us to ask for help is when we're having thoughts of killing ourselves.
Or they're still ashamed of asking for help. I'm too strong, I'm too big, I did too many awesome things, I don't want to look weak or this, but you're already weakened inside, and you just keep going until you're hollowed out. So asking for help is actually strength, and realizing that, I am strong, but this is a little bit more of an intense situation, and I'm not sure if I can handle it. That's where a support group comes in. That's where an actual decent, good friend comes in, not just your everyday, let's go drink, let's party. That's an associate, like a deep friend that you talk to and actually find your connection with them and open up. You want to allow yourself to open up and work through your pain, and then get rid of it, because you've already worked through of it, and you've utilized your thought process and expelling the emotions so that you can actually transgress the actual energy and transmute into something else, so that you can actually start having a better life instead of being stuck into depression, stuck in PTSD.
Yeah, and I talk to people a lot. Like, I really believe that the brain functions on the universal laws of physics, like third law of motion, Newton's third law. It's like every action has a opposite reaction. And I talk about the law of conservative energy, and it can't be created or destroyed, it can only be transferred. So like, I tell people, what psychedelics a lot of times will do, ketamine therapies too, what they'll let you do is like, you don't have to give all your energy to depression or anxiety or trauma or OCD. Like, you don't have to. You feel like you have to because it's all enmeshed. But what psychedelics will do, it will show you. Don't need to give that. Like, it's like an old ex-girlfriend, you know, it's like, no, like just stop talking to her. And psychedelics allow you to kind of be in that space to where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have to give all my energy, like, this is my energy. This is my bubble. This is my protective space. And I want to put my energy where I want it to go.
Exactly. Kind of like where people have their pain and suffering and they don't want to focus on it. So they're focusing on everything else, trying to keep a activity shell around it. Oh, look at this shiny thing. Look at this activity. Look at that. And they never address that. And they're wearing themselves out emotionally because you have to keep piling on more stuff instead of having a time where you can just breathe and relax and actually enjoy the peace and silence. You have to force yourself to interact with everything or regress away from activity completely. Now you're a complete recluse and you shut everything out just so you don't listen to that thought process or that energy, and you just focus on being alone and everything. So, and that's not healthy either. I mean, sorry, I'm a shut in. I love sitting around watching my anime and everything like that. That's the fun time for me. But I still know that I can go out and interact with people and not be afraid of it.
Well, I think that's what we have to do is teach people, and this is what psychedelics helps with, is we teach them that it's okay to feel peace and calm.
Yeah.
And nobody knows how. They're like, I don't know how to feel peaceful. I don't know how to feel calm.
Or that they deserve it. A lot of the times people that I've worked with are like, I don't deserve the peace or calm. I deserve the pain. No, you don't. No, you freaking don't. You just understand it, realize it, work through it, and get rid of it. Stop focusing on it.
And also people too, like, because your brain duplicates what it knows. So it's like when people start becoming very negative, and they judge everything as negative, and it's negative, and they're like, sorry, I'm just negative, pat a hard like. It's like, no. You're negative because it's a negative coping mechanism that your brain's done.
And that's what you learned how to do, and you stick with that. So teach a dog a new trick and start, hey, you know what? This is actually negative. No, I'm just negative. That's just me. No, that's who you're choosing to be. You can be a completely different person tomorrow if you choose to be, if you put in the amount of work. But a lot of times, facing yourself is so much harder than facing the world.
Yeah, I saw Robert Daddy Jr. the other day. He was talking about is a beautiful piece that you was talking about Mel Gibson and how Mel Gibson like put a roof on his head, and I told him, he said, all you need to hug the cactus. And but he says, I'll learn how to hug the cactus, and finding his higher power, whatever that might be. High thing. But it was a really, really great thing. But you're right. I mean, it's hard, and unfortunately, like, we make it so much harder. It's so much easier to face yourself than what we think. Is what, like, when we think about
it's the giant shadow monster of pain. Our process, like PTSD, it's an anchoring that establishes a moment in time in your mind through extreme emotion, an action, and a thought. So that generates your programming for your brain. And unless you actually start working on it immediately, or at least pretty quickly, that it starts to cement itself and turn hardened, and that turns into a habit for the rest of your time on. And then when you start taking a form of psychedelic for treatment, it's got to tear through all that shell and everything to get to that anchored nerve, to reroute and change your current programming to something more efficient for your life. And that's what it's going to be the hard. So do you want to go through that amount of pain through stuffing it away and allowing yourself to not actually live a peaceful, happy life, the way you want and design who you want to be, just have that whole pain suffering there. And then you decide to take psychedelics, and then you got to go through all that pain again just to clear it up. And then find your freedom. It's so much easier just to, and simple. It's really simpler, should I say, than waiting 10 years. Because you're having 10 years of stuff pain, then 10 years of reversed healing, depending on how long it takes, just to fix it.
Like, I think about people like the medications and, waiting too long and all this other stuff. It's like we've taught them, like, you have to manage your mental health. And it's like, no, what we're seeing with psychedelics is it's healing your mental health. And people, because, people get so low and they're like, just can't keep doing this, keep doing this. It's like there's so much hope out there to where you can be the person that you want to be. And a lot of people are, I just want to be the person I used to be. The person you used to be is gone. We're trying to go to this next level of psychological evolution. And that's what psychedelics allow us to do.
No, most definitely. And they just need to realize, anyone out there, just ask for help. Take the time to study. That's all it takes. And then if you do want to, find the proper help to actually pull the next step for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Any other last bits you want to tell the world?
remember, psychedelics are a tool. They will not save you. They will help you save yourself. And don't just do 110% at the start. Every single time, even if you are into psychedelics, for say psilocybin mushrooms, step up slowly, train, get that extra feeling to make it so that you can actually heal. It's all a process. Please come sign up. It's free at thefruitofknowledge.com. But it doesn't matter if you're a part of the psychedelic community, if you have any kind of portion of mental health, spiritual health, those kind of things, selling items that help people with grounding. We're that community. We're not just a psychedelic community, it's the fruit of knowledge. So we can find a way to give you the knowledge to have a better, fruitful life.
I have to picture everything you're doing in the specs.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Terry. And yours, I can't wait to do more work with you.
I know, I'm excited.
So,
We'll change the world.
outstanding.
Thank you for watching this episode. I hope that it brought you some insight and some impact into your life. For more on Revitalist, check out revitalist.com. Be sure to subscribe to this, as we are going to continue to change the narrative on mental health by bringing in a whole facet of groups in order to help address this global mental health crisis that we are all feeling. So thank you so much to the partners that were on this episode, and to get more information about them, please click on the links below.